everyone, my name's Leah Holroyd and I'm director of White Bicycle Limited. I set the company up with my brother Finn in 2019 and we specialise in online and blended learning. You've probably come across the term online learning, especially in the last couple of years. It can mean a few different things. So the kind of work that we do is all about building online courses that are full of interactive and multimedia content. So think video and audio, animation, quizzes, games, branching scenarios, that kind of thing. And everything that we do is bespoke. So a client will come to us with a project and we'll create something that's completely tailored to them. So we often work in a very close, very collaborative way with our clients, which I really enjoy. Probably the best way to give you an idea of the kind of work we do is to share some examples of previous projects. We worked with Durham University on a series of mental health first aid modules, which was a fantastic project to work on, partly because mental health is a topic that's really close to my own heart. But also it was a lot of fun. We filmed a lot of video content. We went up to Durham, we filmed students and staff and a couple of professional actors, and that really helped to bring the topics to life. A couple of years ago, we worked with the British Ecological Society and we helped them to run an online summer school. So the summer school would usually be a residential affair with field work, muddy wellies and all that jazz. But obviously because of COVID, it couldn't go ahead as planned. So we set them up with an online platform and we created a mix of live sessions, mini modules, quizzes, and we built in online discussion boards so that students could share photos and chat to each other. So even though people weren't physically together, it still felt very interactive and social, which was fantastic. And the feedback that we got was really positive. We've also done a lot of work over the last few years with Guy's and St Thomas's NHS Trust in London, both on clinical skills and more transferable skills. And again, it's really rewarding work, and I like the fact that we vary the approach depending on the project. So for the clinical skills courses, we might have a lot of video of nurses demonstrating particular techniques, for example. In the transferable skills courses, we might use more animation to bring fictional case studies to life. And ultimately, all of that training is about improving the patient experience for people who are being treated in the trust. So that's a great thing to be part of. So yeah, it's a really varied job and I love that about it. The variety keeps me motivated, it keeps me interested. Certainly before the pandemic, I was maybe working 3 days a week in my home office, and a couple of days I'd be out and about meeting with clients, observing training sessions or filming, things like that. When I'm at my desk, obviously there are emails and admin to keep on top of, but there are also a lot of very practical creative tasks that need doing. So I might be editing the first draft of a course. I might be going online to look for icons and images that we can use to illustrate particular concepts. Or I might be creating an animation. So it's really fun. There's a lot of different elements that go into that. And for that reason, I think it's a great area to work in. There's sort of something for everyone, really. Whether you're interested in teaching and learning, whether you're a whiz with technology, whether you're really strong on writing and editing and structuring information, or whether you like the visual side of sort of making things look engaging. There's a whole range of different skills that go into the mix. And for that reason, I think the learning design space has a lot of diversity and a lot of people from different backgrounds, which is great. I kind of got into this area of work by accident, to be honest. Growing up, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I went through various phases. I wanted to be a teacher, I wanted to be a doctor, and so on. And one of the things that I love about the work I do now is that I get to work on lots of different topics. So I get a little insight into lots of different areas and different professions. So I've worked on courses for teachers and I've worked on courses for doctors. And okay, I'm probably never going to be qualified to perform open heart surgery, but I think that's a definite perk of the job, that you get to keep learning. And sometimes you get to pick up some facts that come in handy at a pub quiz, which is always a good thing. So before doing what I do now, I worked for a traditional educational publisher in Berlin, And I also spent a couple of years working in a primary school here in Essex, doing one-to-one support work with children with special educational needs. And that was really rewarding, and it was a really useful insight as well into how people learn. It's kind of amazing to me that primary school teachers in particular, I think they put so much effort into making learning fun for kids. And then it's almost as though we hit adulthood and we kind of give up sometimes. And we expect people to learn through sitting through long, tedious lectures or, through death by PowerPoint. And I'm a big believer that learning can be fun, whatever age you are, and that approaches like animation or gamification can be just as effective for adult learners as they can for children, if they're done in the right way. After my stint working in the school, I worked for a company called Epigeum that made online courses for universities. And I also worked for a university out in Australia, working with the teaching staff there to look at ways that they could increase engagement and build more technology into what they were doing. And that was great fun. I loved that job. But a part of me had always wondered about freelancing. And I suppose I like the idea of being my own boss. And it just so happened that while I was out in Australia, a couple of old work friends got in touch about freelance work that they had coming up. And I thought, if I'm ever going to do this, this is the right time. I've got to grab this opportunity. So I went freelance. And while I was freelancing, my brother Finn graduated from university. And I had a lot of work on my plate. And I knew that he was bright. I knew that he was good with technology. So I asked him if he felt like pitching in. And I think, to be honest, I think we both thought that it would just be something temporary to tide him over while he looked for other jobs. But actually, it turned out he enjoyed the work. He was really good at it. I think he'd heard me waffling on about learning design enough over the years to have picked up a lot of the basics. And we just found that we worked really well together. We got on really well. We were really open and honest with each other. And yeah, I think we were both pleasantly surprised by how well that worked. So we freelanced together for a couple of years, and then we decided to take the plunge and to set up as a company. And here we are. I just want to mention as well, I'm also a trustee of a local charity called Citizens Advice Tendering, which does some absolutely amazing work in this part of Essex. So their core mission is to provide free, impartial, confidential advice to people on the big issues in life. So that might be helping people who are in debt, helping people to access the benefits that they're entitled to, or even things like speaking to people who've experienced domestic abuse and talking them through their options, or helping people pay their energy bills so they can keep their homes warm in winter. So they're doing some amazing work. They also run a mental health hub in Clacton, which is all about helping people to develop new skills, improve their well-being, increase their confidence, build a support network, things like that. So I love being involved with them. And I take the lead on equity, diversity and inclusion there. So for example, I advised them recently on accessibility when they were building their new website. So I love that I get to contribute to an organisation that's making a real difference to people's lives. And there's a crossover there between the work that I'm doing through the company that's quite helpful in both directions. So getting back to the company, just thinking about what's in store for us next. I think we're at a really exciting stage. I think the demand for online learning is growing, because of the pandemic and so on. And I think that trend is going to continue. So our hope for the next couple of years is to grow the business. Finn and I have talked about hiring our first employees, maybe this year, maybe next. And my hope is that bringing a couple of extra people on board will mean that I can focus more on things like networking and marketing, and basically finding new opportunities, new projects for us to get involved in, particularly around those areas that I'm really passionate about. So mental health and well-being, healthcare, EDI, and so on. But whatever happens, I think I will still have some involvement in the actual building of the courses, because that creative, practical side of the work, I love being involved in that. I don't think I could step away from it completely.